Hey everyone, it's Argonath here from The Right Way, and if you're not in New Zealand, the great segregation of New Zealand's population has currently, or has been going for a little while, but now it's taking a turbo boost. So the government is to extend vaccine mandates to businesses requiring vaccine certification. So Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern says that the government will mandate the COVID-19 vaccine for any worker of a business that requires a vaccine certificate at entry. Ardern on Tuesday said Cabinet has decided to place the mandate on businesses who participate in the vaccine certificate scheme. It means that many restaurants, cafes, gyms, and other close proximity businesses such as hairdressers that choose to operate with greater freedoms under the traffic light system will have to comply. The more people that are vaccinated, the safer we all are. That gives us options and the ability to keep people safe without having to use some of the more blanket restrictions that we've used in the past. So basically, they just want to force people to get vaccinated, right? By basically saying if you don't get vaccinated, you're not going to have a job in these particular areas. And if you're a waitress or a hairdresser and you don't want to get the vaccination, are you going to really want to? Will you really do it? Get a vaccination just to keep that particular job if it's not a particularly well-paying job? Probably not. So there could be a few people that are wanting to maybe change to a different job or something. Personally, I really encourage people to get the vaccine because I do believe in them, and I've got both of my vaccine shots already. But I'm firmly of the belief it should be your decision, and then whatever happens after that, you would bear the consequences of that, right? Um, but it's your decision. No one should force you to do something to your body that you don't want to do. And this is what the government is doing. They're basically forcing people to get vaccinated to keep their jobs, because in this COVID environment these days, having a job means you can feed your family. You could go onto the benefit, but it's not as much as what you might get with your actual job. A lot of people have mortgages for the homes that they're currently in, so they need to keep that going. So basically they will be forced to get vaccinated because that's what this government is all about. It's all about control of the population and forcing people into doing something that they don't want to do. We shouldn't be giving the stick to people, we should be encouraging them. Hell, why doesn't the government just say, hey, anyone who gets vaccinated will get $500 per vaccination? So if you get both your shots now, you'll get $1,000. That will surely get more people that were on the fence, that might give them the incentive to get it. If $1,000, being paid $1,000 just to get 2 vaccine shots is not going to do it, I somehow don't think that anything else will get these people to be vaccinated, right? It'll be a hell of a lot cheaper just to pay these people $1,000 to have their 2 shots than to keep going with the ridiculous lockdown settings that we have currently in New Zealand, which is costing us so much money. It's unheard of. A person's vaccination status will become increasingly relevant to how they can participate in usual activities under the government's proposed traffic light system, which will replace the alert level system when each district health board reaches 90% vaccination levels. Personally, I don't hold much hope that each district will actually get to 90% vaccination level, because I just don't think that's going to happen. It's far too high a target. As the opposition leader Judith Collins has said, we should be aiming for about 80 to 85%, which is a bit more manageable. But the government's going to have to change on this, because there's no way they're going to get to 90% vaccination double dosed in each of the DHBs. So they're going to have to relent on this at some point. But again, you're going to be you're segregating people out of the population, and a lot of the people that are vaccine hesitant are from minority groups, right? So you're going to start to demonize kind of minority groups from the majority of people. How is that going to go down? So this is supposed to be the government for the minority people. They're actually doing the opposite, and all of their policies actually do the opposite of what they actually want. I'll have to make another video on this at another time. Under the orange light setting would allow businesses to operate without restrictions on capacity or social distancing if they agree to require customers to prove they've been vaccinated through the vaccine certification system the government is developing. Hospitality businesses not using the certification system would not be able to open, but can operate for contactless transactions. So basically, they're going to have someone at the front of the store wearing, black leather boots probably got a little cap on, maybe a uniform on, standing at the front of the shop going, papers please, right? Sorry, unfortunately I can't do a German accent, I'm not good at that, but that's essentially what they're going to end up doing. And this is what we fought a world war over, so that we wouldn't have to deal with this kind of rubbish. But now, because under the guise of COVID-19, the government can sneak it through, right? If there's a high level of COVID-19 risk and the system is at the red light setting, businesses that don't require vaccine certification will not be allowed to operate, whereas businesses that require their customers to be vaccinated will operate with limited restrictions. So if you're a business, surely you're going to have to go for the requirement that customers be vaccinated, so that you don't get shut down, even if you are a business that doesn't actually need their customers to be vaccinated, right? You're going to have to do it anyway, so that you don't get shut down if it goes to the red light system. So the government's just forcing this on all businesses, basically. Ardern said people would raise questions if the government introduced a vaccine certification system that could require customers to be vaccinated, but did not require workers in those businesses to be. Friggin' hell! What's the point of getting a vaccination if you're too scared to meet people that are unvaccinated, right? The whole point of getting vaccinated is if you catch the virus, you're not going to get sick. You'll be asymptomatic or have very mild symptoms. On the rare occasion you have to go to hospital, it won't be very severe. So what's the difference? Why are you making people scared to interact with unvaccinated people? This is what friggin' gets me all the time. Questions would rightly be asked if required those who are customers to be vaccinated, but not for people that are serving them or in hospitality, blah, blah, blah. Your ability to access government support and your ability to access, for instance, an unemployment benefit or to seek support and finding your appointment is and will not be affected by vaccination status. Oh, that's very good of the government, isn't it? Lose your job, but we'll still let you go on the benefit, though. In legislating the change, the government will require businesses that fire unvaccinated workers to provide them with a 4-week paid notice period. Workers will also be provided paid leave so they can attend a vaccine appointment. Further mandates will be considered by the government, including for public sector workers with public-facing jobs. It's just going to become more and more and more in New Zealand. They are going to make it mandatory for everyone. Workplace Relations Minister Michael Wood said that under these changes, up to 40% of the country's workforce could be covered by vaccine mandates. So what about the other 60%, right? Are there not going to be any transmission through that? It's just unworkable. Eventually COVID is going to be everywhere. Why are they still trying to do this? It's unbelievable, right? Get vaccinated, you won't get sick. Let the virus start going through, and if you're unvaccinated, you take the risks. That's your choice. You made that choice. Geez. Vaccination mandates were placed on managed isolation quarantine workers at airport staff. Other businesses, including the Countdown supermarket chain, the Warehouse, the Victoria University of Wellington, have said that vaccine mandates for their staff and students were being considered. Imagine that, you're wanting to have vaccine mandates for your students to attend. But high school students can go to school, they don't have to be vaccinated, right? They have a mix of vaccinated and unvaccinated people. So if it's good for high school students, why is it not good for adults out in the community? I just cannot see the difference. At school, you're more likely to be cooped up in a room with a bunch of other people, whereas in a shop you're likely to be spread out throughout the shop, aren't you? Or you have restrictions on the number of people that can go in the shop at one particular time. So I just think this is absolutely disgusting behaviour by this government, forcing people to get vaccines, forcing people to have to show their papers when they go shopping and so on. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with the government? That's awesome. Let me know your reasons. I'd love to know. If you disagree with the government, like me, then also give your reasons. Personally, I think that if you're vaccinated, you've got nothing to fear from unvaccinated people. So what's the point, right? What's the difference? Anyway, let me know in the comment section. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, you're welcome to give me a thumbs down. And if you like my content, please subscribe, as it just helps the YouTube algorithm to notice my content. And hopefully I will catch you in the next video.